Big news here on the Court Storm College Hoops Talk podcast. Michael Malone, entering his first season coaching college basketball in Chapel Hill, was able to make a big splash move, landing Virginia Tech transfer Neoklis Avdalas out of the transfer portal on the day I'm recording this, Monday, April 13th. Neoklis had a very productive freshman season at Virginia Tech, where we saw him average 12 points per game to go with 3 rebounds and nearly 5 assists. He was obviously one of the under-talked about, or I should say under-known, international prospects that came over to play college basketball in the States this past season. And this is a great get for a North Carolina program that wants to get back to competing to get to Final Fours and winning national championships. Now, obviously, there is still a lot up in the air as to what North Carolina is going to be able to retain from this past season to next season. We've already seen Luka Bogovic enter the transfer portal just 1 or 2 days ago. Obviously, Henry Vezar is a very big transfer portal decision to come, where if they're able to get Henry Vezar back, that solidifies UNC as potentially having one of the best front courts entering this next college basketball season in 26 and 27. Now, Neoklis Avdalas obviously is very dynamic for someone who possesses his size. He's 6'9", 215 pounds, plays the 4, and when you consider what that can mean if you are able to bring back Henry Vezar to go along with what you're already getting back following the announcement for Jaron Stevenson that he will return for his senior season at Chapel Hill, UNC's front court could be super high powered and dynamic on both ends of the floor this next season. Now, in terms of what I would expect from Neoklis, he obviously was productive, being the kind of, in a way, go-to guy for the Hokies this past year. I think obviously he's going to be the beneficiary of playing alongside some really good talent. We need to wait and see on some other decisions regarding what North Carolina is going to be able to either retain or bring in for their front court. They've already received a reaffirmation that Maximo Adams will stay committed to the Tar Heels to play out his freshman year of college basketball. We are still waiting on the decision from Dylan Mingo as to whether he wants to stay committed to the Michael Malone version of the North Carolina Tar Heels or look elsewhere in terms of where he is going to be playing his freshman season next year. Now, on top of that, UNC has obviously been in talks with Juke Harris, who is one of the top 3 transfers in this year's portal that I'd argue. I think he's up there with Floyd Badunga, obviously, who was just committed to Louisville yesterday, as well as John Blackwell, who is still trying to figure out exactly where he is going to be playing his next season of college basketball. Now, getting back to Neoklis, I just think to have a guy who's so capable of doing just so many different things playing the 4. Granted, he was not the most efficient shooter, but kind of going back to my point of him needing to take a lot of tough shots as in a way kind of being Virginia Tech's go-to guy. Those things are going to be remedied by the talent that North Carolina has a chance to bring in for this next season. We shot 38% from the floor to go alongside 31% from beyond the arc, 67% at the line. Those percentages obviously need to increase if North Carolina wants to be uber competitive in the ACC next year and obviously compete for both a league title, regular season wise and tournament wise. But I just think, again, the talent is most definitely there. The size is most definitely there. We've seen the shift of going towards larger, bigger lineups, which were the most successful this past season. We saw Michigan, we saw Arizona, we saw Florida, and how those teams saw so much success, all 1 seeds, with their large lineups. So we could definitely see lineups where perhaps Jaron Stevenson, Neoklis Avdalas, and Henry Vezar, if they are able to get him back, are all on the game floor at the same time. I also think that just what he can provide you playmaking-wise out of the post is going to help so much when you consider that if North Carolina is not able to land a Juke Harris, for say, and they're going to have to turn towards freshman talent between Maximo Adams as well as Dylan Mingo if he does stay committed to the Tar Heels, what he can provide you with his passing, his court vision, with his back to the basket, as well as what he can do as the ball handler in pick and rolls, even at 6'9", I think it's, again, going to help some of these younger guys on UNC in the backcourt come along and obviously kind of grow into their shoes as the season goes on. So I think this was a great get for Michael Malone in him trying to kind of bring this North Carolina program back to life, where they've obviously underperformed expectations the last couple seasons now under Hubert Davis before he was let go. Now, kind of touching back more so on Neoklis himself in this past season that he played, he obviously came over, I mentioned earlier, he was one of the more under-known international prospects. He was rated as a 4-star coming into the United States, with some services rating him as a 5-star. He did have a little bit of a stretch where he kind of struggled in ACC play. He did struggle with turnovers this past season, averaging 2.2 per game, but I think a lot of that is attributed to him trying to just make the adjustment to playing away from home, where he is originally from in Greece, where he was playing professional basketball since the age of 15. on top of that, of course, there's always just an adjustment when trying to catch up to the speed of the college game. So I think a lot of those things should hopefully turn in the right direction for Neoklis Avdalas. And of course, if you are a Tar Heels fan, but I'm sure this is a guy with a surefire first round NBA ceiling. I think if he does produce the numbers that I believe he will going into this next season, that he'll play in Chapel Hill. And obviously, Michael Malone has massive amounts of experience pushing NBA players. So I definitely think the vision is definitely there for Neoklis to be able to become a first round NBA draft pick in what should be a much, much weaker draft class than what we're going to see in the summer of 2026. Obviously, Michael Malone, he's going to know what to get out of a guy that possesses the skill set like a Neoklis Avdalas, where in the NBA we see so many larger 4 men and even 5 men that can space the floor and shoot the 3 ball, can play make. Like we saw him coach Nikola Jokic, a center who was getting 10 assists a game some nights. Neoklis, obviously, I alluded to this earlier, is a very, very talented passer for someone at his position. So I think Michael Malone is definitely going to be able to use that to his advantage, considering the experience he has coaching big men who are very, very capable passers. So overall, I think this is a really great get for both Michael Malone as his first true recruiting commitment that he's been able to get as North Carolina's new head coach entering the 26-27 college basketball season. And of course, in terms of just how competitive UNC has a chance to be next year, this is a massive, massive get and move to make for the Tar Heels' chances going to the next year of ACC basketball. But that's going to take care of everything that I have on my reactions to Neoklis Avdalas committing to North Carolina for this next season of college basketball. If you stuck around to the end, just engage with the content as always. And until the next episode, I'll see you all next time.